Hello, Anatomy. This is Dr. V here with some video instructions to get you started on the Global Determinants of Health assignment. What we're doing in this assignment is comparing 4 families, each of which is from a different country in the world, and each of which also has a drastically different level of wealth. So we'll have 4 countries represented. We are going to analyze these from poorest to richest or wealthiest. And we're going to do 2 things. Number 1, we're going to look at some pictures from each family. We'll observe things like the kitchen, the restroom facilities, clothes, the flooring, just looking for things that either would promote health or make health more difficult. So are there safety concerns in the home? Are there things that are unsanitary? Then what we're going to do is look at some health data. That'll include maternal mortality ratio, so the rate of death among mothers within the first year after childbirth, the life expectancy, so that's how long we expect the person to live, and then the average years of education. After we've done that for each of the 4 countries, we'll do a little analysis to see if we can draw some generalizations about health. So to get started, you're going to go to this website here in number 1. It's called Dollar Street. We see on the left side, we have the poorest country, and on the right side, we have the richest. These are organized in rows of 4. You can choose any row you want. So you could choose that first row. You could do these 4 countries, Burundi, Guatemala, US, China. You could do India, Nigeria, Sri Lanka, Spain. But I do want you to stay within one row. So go all the way across any row you like. There are lots of options. So pick a country that interests you. And what you'll do for each of those countries is first write the name in the boxes. So what might be helpful when you're doing this too is to split your screen. So I'm going to drag this out here so I can type and see at the same time. I'm just populating the names of those 4 countries. Okay, I can also right away put in the monthly income. So again, I'm just getting that from the number. Here we have $27, here is $268, and so on. So you get the drift there. To fill out this box at the bottom, it says 3 or more observations from photos. So let's get started. If we want to look at a family in Burundi, we would click on that family, and then on this page here, there's a section that says visit this family. It's a gray bar that appears when you hover your mouse. Go ahead and click that. And what you'll see is a series of photos from that family. So we can see what a chair looks like, what's in the backyard, bathroom, looks like it's outdoors here. Are there books available? Here's the ceiling material. Think about whether you think this would prevent rain from getting in or not. So I'm going to make 3 observations about any of the pictures I see. It's also okay to make observations about the people you see. So here we're being really objective, right? So we see the family. If you're going to make some observations about the family, an objective observation might be, the children are not wearing shoes, right? So that could be a safety issue because, 1, some parasites from the soil could enter the feet, and then also if there are sharp objects, they could step on those, right? So again, keeping it very objective. That's how you do table 1. For the next part of the assignment, after you filled out that whole table, you were going to go to a second website. Now, this website has a lot of numbers. So we're moving to numbers instead of pictures that are associated with health. So just going to split my screen again so you see how that might work best for you. Okay, so here I'm going to retype the name of those 4 countries from above, and then I'm going to find life expectancy, maternal mortality ratio, expected years of schooling, and then I'm going to choose one more piece of data. This is required, so it's your choice which piece it is, but it's got to be there, that I want to research. So these directions here tell you what to click on to find this data. So, okay, Burundi. When I go to this website, there are a lot of countries listed. So here I found Burundi. I'm going to click the country name just like it tells me to in the instructions. Then I'm going to go to health. So if you scroll down, here's the health section. I click that. And then life expectancy at birth in years, it is 61.2 years. So in the box on my table, I'm going to write 61.2 years. For the maternal mortality ratio, again, that's the likelihood of the mother dying through the process of giving birth, or early after birth. I'm going to click country name, and then instead of health, I would click gender. All right. For education, so just to show you, maternal mortality ratio is down here. You kind of got to scroll down to find it. For education, I'm going to go to the education section right here, and I can look at the expected years of schooling. So that's 11.3. So all of that information was for Burundi. So it's going to go in the Burundi column, and I'm going to do the exact same thing for Indonesia, Mexico, and France, or whatever countries you choose. The only other parts that is required in this assignment is 2 short answer questions. So question 6 asks you to describe the differences in social or infrastructural conditions. Long word, all we mean there is housing materials. What foods are they eating, right? What are the family members wearing? Do they look malnourished? Between the richer and the poorer families. Describe the differences and explain how they could influence health. So 5-sentence minimum here. I want a good paragraph, and I want you to use the data you collected in the tables. So go ahead and look back at the data, right? Look, does Burundi have the highest rate of mothers that are dying during childbirth? Does it have the lowest life expectancy? You're using those visual observations for number 6. For number 7, same question, but now you're really focusing on that hard data, so those numbers. You're going to compare the numbers you looked up among the 4 countries and see which differences stand out most. Is the education level pretty similar between the 4 countries, or is it really different? Why do you think that is? Again, 5-sentence minimum. So the difference between 6 and 7 is 6 is focusing on visible or visual differences from Dollar Street. 7 is focusing on differences in number. The last part is optional. It must be done for AD. The highest you can get without it is PR, but it's not required. So this asks you to take a moment to think back on the countries who we researched these numbers for on the second website. Rank them from highest to lowest life expectancy. What factors do you think contribute to this trend? So this is critical thinking. I want you to use some of the visual observations you made. 5-sentence minimum, substantive sentences if you want to get the AD, but I think this shouldn't take you too long. So I really encourage everyone to consider going for the AD here. All right. If you are confused about the grading, I'm going to attach a rubric to the assignment. The rubric is also found here. So you can always double check before you turn it in to see, did you meet the appropriate criteria for whatever score you're trying to get? And I'm always happy to answer questions from you about the assignment. All right. Have a wonderful day.